Unit 3 Magnetism and Magnetic Effect of Electric Current. Introduction to magnetism. Magnetic its behavior will attract everyone. Magnetism is everywhere from tiny particles like electrons to the entire universe. Historically, the word magnetism was derived from iron ore magnet, that is Fe3O4. In olden days, magnets were used as magnetic compass for navigation and magnetic therapy for treatment, and also used in magic shows. In modern days, most of the things we use in our daily life, certain magnets, motors, cycle dynamo, loudspeaker, magnetic tapes used in audio and video recording, mobile phones, headphones, CD, pen drive, hard disk of laptop, etc. So these are all some applications of magnet. Earlier, both electricity and magnetism were thought two independent branches in physics, but Oersted observed one magnetic compass deflected with a needle kept near the current carrying wire. So this unified the two different branches, electricity and magnetism, as a single subject, that is electromagnetism in physics. In this unit, we are going to see the basics of magnets and their properties. Later, how current carrying conductor, steady current, not time varying current, behaves like a magnet is presented. We know that the needle in the magnetic compass always come to the rest in a position of geographically north-south direction of the earth. But William Gilbert in 1600 proposed that earth itself behaves like a gigantic powerful bar magnet. Can you imagine? The earth itself is a gigantic powerful bar magnet. So but this theory is not successful because of the temperature inside the earth is very high, and so it will not possible for a magnet to retain its magnetism. But Gauss suggested that the earth magnetic field is due to a hot rays coming out from the sun. This rays will heat up the air near the equatorial region. Once the air becomes hotter, it rises above and will move towards the northern and southern hemisphere and get electrified. This may be responsible to magnetize the ferromagnetic materials near the Earth's surface. Till date, so many theories have been proposed, but none of the theory completely explain the cause of Earth magnetism. The north pole of the magnetic compass needle is attracted towards the magnetic south pole of the earth, which is near the geographic north pole. Similarly, the south pole of the magnetic compass needle is attracted towards the geographic north pole of the earth, which is near the magnetic north pole. So the branch of physics which deals with the earth magnetic field is called geomagnetism or terrestrial magnetism. There are three quantities required to specify the magnetic field of the earth on its surface, which are often called as elements of earth magnetic field. They are magnetic declination, magnetic dip or inclination I, the horizontal component of the earth magnetic field BH. So here the circle which denotes the earth, so we know that the earth itself is a bar magnet. So here we are inside the earth, we are just mentioned to the north and south, we are using one bar magnet, and these are the field lines around the earth, and this is the earth magnetic south pole and this is the earth magnetic north pole. But the true north pole, the earth rotates around the axis, this one, and axis around the which the earth rotates once a day. The angle between the magnetic meridian at a point and the geographic meridian, the angle between the magnetic meridian and geographic meridian is called the declination or magnetic declination. So here D is the angle of declination. The angle suspended by the Earth's total magnetic field B with the horizontal direction in the magnetic meridian is called dip or magnetic inclination. So the component of the Earth magnetic field along the horizontal direction in the magnetic meridian is called the horizontal component of the Earth magnetic field denoted by BH. So horizontal component is BH is equal to BE cos I. The vertical component BV is equal to BV sin I. By dividing this equation, you will get tan I is equal to BV by BH. At magnetic equator, the BH is equal to BE and BV is equal to 0. At magnetic poles, BH is equal to 0 and BV is equal to BE. Now we are going to see some properties of the magnets. These are all very basic. The first property is magnetic dipole moment. Consider a bar magnet. It has the pole strength Qm and the length, the distance between the geometrically center of the bar magnet is O and one end of the pole. Now it is defined as the product of its pole strength and the magnetic length. It is a vector quantity because it has both magnitude and direction. It is denoted by Pm. Now the Pm is equal to Qmd, where d is the vector drawn from south pole to north pole and its magnitude d is equal to 2L. Now the magnetic dipole moment Pm is equal to 2qml. The SI unit of magnetic moment is am square. The direction of the magnetic moment is from south pole to north pole. Now the next topic is magnetic field. The magnetic field is the region or space we can feel the magnetic strength or magnetic force. So we can define as a force experienced by the bar magnet of unit pole strength. So we denoted the magnetic field by B is equal to 1 by Qm into force. It has the direction, so it's mentioned it as a vector quantity. Its unit is N A inverse into meter inverse, that is N per ampere per meter. Types of magnets. Magnets, we have two types. One is natural magnets, then another one is artificial magnets. Natural magnets are iron, cobalt, nickels, etc. But its strength is very weak compared to our artificial magnet. Artificial magnets, we can decide the shape and strength. If the magnet is in the form of rectangular shape or cylindrical shape, then it is known as the bar magnet. Then properties of magnet. A freely suspended bar magnet will always point along the north to south direction. That means the magnetic field always from north and emerge from the north and merge at the south direction. That's why we named as north to south direction. A magnet attracts or repels another magnet or magnetic substance towards itself. The attractive or repulsive force is maximum near the end of the bar magnet. That means the north pole and south pole are repulsive, but north and that is opposite poles are attractive. The third property is when a magnet is broken into two pieces, then each pieces behaves like at the end it has poles north and south. Next one is fourth one. Two poles of the magnet have pole strength equal to one another. Then the length of the bar magnet is called the geometrical length, and the length between two magnet poles is near bar magnet is called magnetic length. The magnetic length is always slightly smaller than the geometrical length. The ratio of the magnetic length and geometrical length is 5 by 6. Here in this picture, this lines shows the magnetic field lines. So these are all the magnetic field lines. It has some properties. The field lines are continuous closed curves. It is a continuous closed curves. The direction of the field lines is from north and to south pole. The north pole inside the magnet is from south to north. From inside the magnet is from south to north. The direction of the magnetic field at any point of the curve, the direction of the field at any point on the curve is known as drawing tangent to the magnetic field lines. That means the magnetic field lines is like a curve. The magnetic field lines is like a curve. At any point on the curve, if you draw the field lines, that is tangential to the field lines. So that is the direction of the magnetic field. The magnetic field lines never intersect each other. Otherwise, the magnetic compass needle would point towards two directions. That's not possible. The degree of the closeness here, the degree of the closeness or crowd near the bar magnet is very strength, but when you move away from the bar magnet, it will be the distance between the lines will increase. So the near the bar magnet it has more strength, and outside the bar magnet it has some distance between the magnetic field lines, though it shows it is weak. Next one important property is magnetic flux. Magnetic flux means the number of magnetic field lines crossed per unit area. The number of magnetic field lines crossed per unit area. Here, this red color lines are showing that magnetic field lines we kept one unit area. That means all the sides we have one, that is one square unit. We can mention that. How many magnetic field lines passing through that area? That is magnetic flux. We can denote it as phi b, that is equal to b bar into a. We can denote it also BA cos theta. That is when B and A are perpendicular to each other. The angle between B bar and A as shown in this figure. So in this diagram, this is the direction of the field lines and the unit area. So this is the angle between this B bar and A bar. We have two cases. When B is normal to the surface, that is the angle is 0, the magnetic flux is phi B is equal to BA maximum. When B is parallel to the surface, then theta is equal to 90 degree, then magnetic flux phi is equal to 0. Suppose the magnetic field is not uniform over the surface, that equation we can write phi b is equal to integral of b into dA. The magnetic flux is a scalar quantity. The SI unit of magnetic flux is Weber and is denoted as a symbol WB. The dimension formula for magnetic flux is m L square T power minus 2 A power minus 1. The CGS unit of magnetic flux is Maxwell. 1 Weber is equal to 10 power 8 Maxwell. So, the magnetic flux density is defined as the number of magnetic field lines crossing per unit area kept normal to the direction of line of force. Its unit is Weber per meter square or Tesla. Next, uniform magnetic field and non-uniform magnetic field. In uniform magnetic field, the magnitude and direction are same at all the points. In non-uniform magnetic field, the magnitude and direction are both vary at different points in a region. For example, see in the figure A, here the direction is same but the magnitude between the field lines are different. The next diagram, the field lines difference is same but the direction is different. Then the last C diagram, both the magnitude and directions are different since it has the non-uniform magnetic field. Coulomb's inverse square law of magnetism. This law, which is similar to the Coulomb's law for static charges studied in Unit 1. There, opposite charges attract and like charges get repelled. Here, we are going to use bar magnet A and B instead of the charges. Here, the north poles of magnet A and B get repulsive force, and also the south pole of the magnets A and B will get the repulsive force. And here if you see that the south pole and north pole of the magnet A and B will get attractive force, which means the like forces are repulsive force and unlike force are attract each other. Where here QMA is the field strength of the magnet A and QB is the field strength of magnet B. That is pole strength. These two it's denoted as the pole strength, and R is the distance between these poles. When you increase the pole strength, the force will also get increases. That means the force will get increased when you increase the magnetic field, and If you increase the distance, means this gap will get increased. That means the force will get reduced. So we can say that the force is directly proportional to the product of this field strength and inversely proportional to the distance between the, that is square of the distance between the two magnets. So by definition we can say that the force of attraction or repulsion between two magnetic poles is directly proportional to the product of their pole strength and inversely proportional to the square of the distance between them. So this is the mathematical expression, that is F is directly proportional to QMA into QMB and divided by R square. Here that R gap is mentioned the direction, where QMA and QMB are pole strength of two poles and R is the distance between two magnetic poles. So in magnitude we can write F is equal to K QMA QMB divided by R square, where K is the proportionality constant whose value depends on the surrounding medium. So the SI unit, the value of K where free space is K is equal to mu naught divided by 4 pi, which is nearly 10 power minus 7 Henry meter power minus 1, where nu naught is the absolute permeability of free space or air or vacuum and H is the stands for Henry.